What's up, inbreds? Jibbington back in business. Video number 2 right here. As you can see, I fixed the shitty orientation, got myself a little mic, so you know, increase the quality a little bit moving forward. But today we came in with a big dub, took off a big dog, number 490th in the world, at least in the old rankings. I think he's like 4K in the new ones, but yeah, probably my biggest win yet in terms of competition. So, not too much else to say. Let's dive right into it and show y'all how to get some fucking work done. Alright, so moving forward, I am gonna be live recording all my footage. I'm also gonna try and figure out how I can do live audio since I'm doing that retroactively as well. But, I wasn't expecting to record this game since it's a clan war battle, but I figured I had to since this dude is pretty goated at Clash, and it's probably my biggest win yet. So right away, he plays that P.E.K.K.A. in the back. We know, he's probably running bridge spam, which you can tell. Yes, he is. I don't do very well against this deck. I mean, it's called bridge spam for a reason. It's a fucking piece of shit spam deck, but it is actually pretty high skill. I will say, like, low skill players can be good at it, but when you got a high skill player playing it, like, it's pretty scary. So, like, right here, I know, like, I'm fucked. I dropped the barbs. Didn't matter. Yeah, I thought the game was over right here. I shouldn't have dropped that rage since I knew I was already going to lose that tower. So that was literally just a waste of 2 elixir. But, you know, normally, once again, I would close that by now. That was a really good bandit by him, by the way. Um, but just the thought of taking down a top 500 player in the world, I was like, I gotta stick it through. Plus, as y'all know, as I've mentioned, this is a 3 crown deck, so there's a chance, but pushing this push on the Evo P.E.K.K.A. is very scary. But that right there is his first fuck up. He should have dropped his P.E.K.K.A. because he knows what I'm running too. Once I drop that battle healer, he knows. So I don't really know why he didn't drop that P.E.K.K.A., but he probably would have won the game if he did. Really solid poison and E-Wiz by him. He knows to hold that E-Drag high, but as you can see, that E-Golem is just always going to get its hits. So, I'm still in here for right now, but he's got nearly a tower on me in terms of damage, so it's not looking great. But we got our Evo Barbs ready, one of my favorite Evos, honestly. They're not OP, but they're just such a good defense. So yeah, I'm going to set up my little push. As you can see, I do not have my Evo E-Dragon cycle, so I'm not going to play it on that side. Plus, as soon as he drops that Royal Ghost, I'm like, well, I can squeeze value here with that defensive E-Drag. So I'm going to drop that right there. And you can tell he's going all out. He's going to completely disregard my push, which I think is normally a good idea, but not when you fucking Jibbington's playing defense. Because look at that E-Drag. It just completely shuts down that Evo Battle Ram. And he completely disregards the E-Golem and Battle Healer. And right there, it's over. He let me set up my shit. His Evo P.E.K.K.A. is down right about now. So, as long as I get this 3 crown in time, then it's over. That's why I sent that fireball there. But yeah, it was a pretty fucking good feeling. You can see he's surprised since I'm a shitter compared to him. But get shit on, kid. Alright, so game number 2, finally coming in with some live footage. Alright, listen. I know I act all high and mighty with my homemade deck, but I'm not going to sit here and lie. This 2.5 hog cycle is what got me to 9k. This is what made Jibbington Jibbington. So, fuck you if you have anything to say about it. You suck. Probably better than you. Fuck you. Anyways, this dude's got a really shitty deck, but nonetheless, a win's a win. So yeah, we're coming in hot. I'm running the Evo Firecracker, one of the best in the game. Evo Knight, it's really not that good, but they nerfed the Ice Spirit and the Skeleton, so I don't run those. I would run the Evo Cannon, but I'm not a gemmer. Slim Jim. So I don't have it. You know who you are. But yeah, so we come in with a pretty solid start. This Dagger Duchess actually is it's useful for me running this hog cycle. With my goblin deck, it is fucked, but it helps me for this. So I'm coming in with a little cannon, just take that Mad Arch out of the way. I love toying around with that little fucking mini P.E.K.K.A, just they really call me the king of pulls. You know, I'm not the best player. Like, I fuck up a lot, but I feel like I do have some of the best pulls in the game. So, as you can see, just playing the board how I fucking want to. Um, little defensive hog action there. And then, you know, right here, that Duchess is out, and he just leaves that hog. So, this dude's a fucking dumbass. Game's already over. But, once again, you know with a deck with, like, a big, powerful card, like, pause that. With, like, Giant Skeleton or something like that, you know, it's a double elixir deck. So, like, he could come in and do a lot of damage. So, the game's not actually over. But, I hit him with this super horny little Evo Firecracker. Already gets value, you know, he arrows, so that's an even trade, but I just got 500 damage on that, so once again, get shit on. I'm going to come in with a Log Quake to take out the Firecracker Magiarch, but I completely blanked and forgot that does not kill the Magiarch, so I'm going to have to spend a little more elixir there. Gave up a mini P.E.K.K.A hit there, which is not ideal, to say the least, but, you know, we'll live. We got a lot of damage on him right now. So this Evo Valk, it really does hurt my my cycle deck since I don't have any heavy cards to, you know, counter it. But just playing the board again, fucking pulling it left, right, middle, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I let up a lot of damage there, but I got really lucky with that Earthquake, by the way. I had no idea he had Skarmy, but just a textbook Jibbington win. You know, we're going to fuck around with him, put that cannon there, and just start flexing like usual. So yeah, a little bread and butter win for the boys. All right, coming in with the final game of the, well, not of the day, but of the video. I play way too fucking much. So, we're playing a little Expo deck here, and I just wanted to show y'all that all Expo players are not the same. You know, as I mentioned, I think that some of the best players in the world are Expo players, and I think it's one of the few decks that can beat every other deck. But you got to be really fucking good in order to do that. And this guy he's alright, but, you know, he never found his momentum. So, I'm coming in with a horny push here. You know, normally I wouldn't Earthquake until I knew he had that, or I knew I had an advantage, but I was like, fuck it, you know? Let's go for it. I want some hits, but by this point, I know he's running Expo, you know? I see the Knight, the E-Spirit, the Archers, and the Tesla. I would say the Archers are the biggest giveaway. But yeah, you gotta memorize these decks so you know what to expect. So yeah, I'm just holding this high because I'm expecting the Expo to come up. But yeah, also, I don't think he's gonna get another hit for the rest of the game. He might get one or two, but this dude fucking sucks. So we're coming in hot here. As you can see, he misses that Tesla. I'm already saying good game. That just goes to show you that one misplay, and, you know, that can cost you an entire game, in the big leagues at least. Now you might be wondering why I'm waiting on this log, why I'm holding it to the last second and risking missing. That's just because, you know, I'm trying to squeeze. If he plays any other card, you know, I want it to get hit by that log too. So, as predicted, he's coming in with that Expo. We're going to drop a low Knight just to make sure that the Archers aren't able to hit it, but the Expo locks. And then I'm actually able to push up off of this, and yeah, you know, we're going to go ahead and get some damage on the tower. So, it's pretty much over, you know. The whole thing about the Expo deck is that you need to have the momentum. You know, once you have one or two elixir advantage and you found your cycle, like, there's nothing I can do. But until that point, there's nothing that he can do. Because it's really the biggest moment. That and Log Bait are the biggest momentum decks, I would say, in the game. So we're coming in with an offensive hog here. Well, I guess all hogs are offensive. Kind of defensive. I don't really know. However you want to fucking think about it. But yeah, we pretty much have the elixir advantage and the cycle set up, so the game is over. At this point, I would probably start Earthquake cycling because I don't want to risk anything. You know, I'm just going to fall back and play defense. Like, I don't need to drop my hog anymore, but this bum closed the app, so we're going to go ahead and just get an extra tower, you know, close out that right one and then get that left. And yeah, just goes to show you that there's a lot of variability in the players that I play. Some are really good, some are really bad. Stu was alright, but yeah, Jibbington out.